body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love 'em. I wanna rub and kiss 'em. I wanna rub and jam 'em. I wanna rub and rub 'em. I wanna rub my body on your body. Rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body. I just get paid. I want to play. The vibes is right. I wanna hug up tight. No time to waste. I wanna work my ways. So come on up, babes. Give me a taste. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub and love 'em. I wanna rub and kiss 'em. I wanna rub and jam 'em. I wanna rub and rub 'em. I wanna rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Let me rub my body on your body. I wanna rub my body on your body. Well, no, I'm feeling, 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 I'm feeling.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you, so call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Good evening. So you see what's happening here now, right? We have folks who are asking you guys to share the live, to share the link. We shouldn't have to be saying this to you guys. I mean, it's taking up a lot of time. 30 seconds, you know how much time that is? Share the link. Share the link. Okay, good. You guys got the message already, right? So good evening to all of you. Appreciate it. Those of you who share the link already, those of you who are asking others to share the link, we thank you all so much. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshap. Hopefully we'll be joined by another MP this evening. Yes, another MP this evening. I'm not sure what time, but we should. The person has a different schedule, and so they promised to be on. They're not 100% sure, but I know they might be on peeping, right? Peeping. So I hope they're on. I just hope they're on. We don't ring bells here, man. We ring bells in the streets. That's where it matters. We don't ring bells. It's a waste of energy. Sorry about that, guys. I get a little bit carried away. We knock pots and pans and and we wear boots. You know what I mean? So look at what is happening here. Consulate address 308 West 38th Street, 30th Street in New York. This is where the consulate, the Guyana consulate is. Here is where we should be protesting, and we will be protesting next week. I believe it's either, when is it? I'm told that, and I hope Brung and the other guys over there can start, even if it's one man, even if it's 5 persons. We've got to go and protest in front of the embassies, in front of the High Commissioner's offices, whether it's Canada, whether it's the UK, whether it's in Washington, the US Embassy, whether it is the consulate in New York. Enough is enough. I am tired of the talking. I don't like to talk too much, even though I love sometimes talking, but I'm an action-oriented guy. Put on my boots and hit the streets. Now is the time to put on your boots, let your hair down, get out of the salon, get out of the cosmetologist office, get out of the kitchen, stop ringing. Right? Time to ring the bells in the streets, time to wear boots in the streets, time to take those selfies in big protest. Enough of the excuses, frivolous, dotish, stupid excuses as to why we shouldn't protest. Some people are saying, Mark is not, Mark is only, no, I don't have to tell you guys and bring up my track record in terms of protest and these sort of things. I don't run away from a protest, man. I don't. Okay, so 308 West 38th Street. So we got to wake these people up in the regime. They're too comfortable. They see that they can take their eyes and pass those in the opposition, those MPs and these sort of things. They just, it's like they see a bunch of bell ringers, ping-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, and they realize that that's all it is. And look, don't get me wrong. I want to make this elusively clear. Don't get me wrong. I like the brothers in the struggle. I like a struggle. But a struggle, if it's one way all the time, it's not going to get anywhere. And I recall there was a guy ringing the bell every morning on the quarantine named Yakub. I guess JR, Vidna, the whole crew from the quarantine, especially from Philippines, Kilmana, Cromarty side, Yakub ringing bell, ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you know his milk. Every ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you know his milk. Ting-a-ling-a-ling, and you know his milk. Right? We got to do more than that, man. We got to do more than that. The PPP understands one language and one language alone. It's got to be licks like peas on them. Hit the streets. Nothing is illegal about hitting the streets. Nothing is illegal about protesting. It is part of your constitutional rights. But if they don't want to protest in Guyana, then those of us who reside outside of Guyana should go in front of the embassies, the Guyana embassy in Washington, where Sam Hines is. Wake Sam Hines up. Let people see that there shouldn't be business as usual in Guyana. People shouldn't rush in to invest and think that all is hunky-dory in Guyana, when in fact it's not. People are being discriminated against as a result of their ethnicity, as a result of their political affiliation. And these things are unacceptable. The corruption is rampant. I'm not the one who's saying this. So I don't want some of the trenchies to pop out of their holes and say, by attack propaganda, man. Oh, me mama, by start with the propaganda again, man. Oh, that Jamar. Oh, that Katahar Bencha. Oh, that dry coconut eating bed. You guys from the quarantine, if you're not from the quarantine, you're not going to know what dry coconut and sugar means, right? But let me break it down for you guys. When a person of East Indian descent, abatak, abaputam ra, when they say, hey, why? I give a little dry coconut and sugar. It's a derogatory term used towards persons of African descent. Hey, I give a dry coconut and sugar. Hey, why eat dry coconut and sugar? Paul Ramatar, good evening to you. I'm not sure if you heard that before, but that's the saying on the quarantine. On the quarantine. And then persons of African descent will say, hey, a little fried cackabelly there, yeah, he Harish little fried cackabelly there, and they say, oh, you eat little dry coconut there with sugar, dry coconut with sugar. A lot of people eating dry coconut with sugar these days. Mitai is basically bun sugar. And mitai came as a look, let me don't give you guys the history of mitai right now because it makes some of y'all belly hot up to know that the bun sugar known as mitai is actually a West African kind of sweet mouth, as we call it, sweet mouth. And I say this to say that look at all of the Indian dishes. Look at the African dishes. Lots of similarities. Look at how the people eat in Africa. They sane too. And not only do they sane, they chate. And let me see if some of you guys know a sane and chate, and they sit down kind of pira and they fold their legs and they eat like that. Lots of similarities. A tremendous amount of similarities. But yet every day them of course black man and black man of course others sometimes, without stopping to understand that we have so much in common. Look at how the women in Africa dance. They raise up, they go up, and look at how the women in India dance. Lots of similarities, guys. Lots of similarities. And when some of them like to cuss and say persons of African descent are lazy, remind them about the 400 years of forced labor that was able, Dennis Atwell, relax yourself. With Indian history and care. We got to stop this crap, but careful. We got to stop it. Be careful. That's how we in a subtle way drive fear onto us. Hey, be careful, buddy. Be careful. Not talk about this, not talk about that. We got to stop this crap. All of us should be talking about it, man. Dennis, good night, my brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Dennis was one of those guys you call upon. He is there. I respect his commitment. I respect his energy. And good to see you. Good to see you, Dennis. Good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. And so we must not be afraid to speak our minds. We must not be able to speak on the history and these sort of things. So if you want Sanihan, it is the history. It is the history. I am part of that history. In fact, I'm part of all the ethnic groups in Guyana. So I can, when I look around my table, everyone is there. Everybody did it. So why you want me do, boy? Why you want me do? You think Crawford alone could lay claim? Good night to you, Junior. Good night. Good night, my friend. We all have some sort of connection somewhere, right? I hope the operator is taking a look at Conrad August. Disrespect to me right now this evening. And Conrad is saying that I'm older than history. Good night to you, Conrad. Hope all is well, my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. And so when indentured servants came to Guyana, it is the Africans who had to teach them how to cut cane, how to do this, how to do that, and all manner of things. And there were interracial relationships even back then. So a lot of our Indian brothers and sisters are mixed up with African blood. Some of them want to deny it. Some of them get grandmother who is Douglas, or a great-grandfather or grandmother who black. But they deliberately, most that I know of, don't want to include that as part of their families. But the truth is everybody mix up. Everybody mix up with something. G1 Bundari. Bundari. These guys get some names out of this world. G1, or in this case, is not G1, it's J1. But I know it as G1, but this is J1. J1 Bundari said, facts. It is, all of us are mixed up in something. We are connected somewhere or the other. And so we got to stop this fighting thing, this Indo thing, this Afro thing, and all this nonsense. It gets us nowhere. Because when folks come in and they come in for the oil wealth, guess what? They see us as who we are. You think they have a lot of regards for us? No, they don't. They just don't have a lot of regards for us. Some of them are basically like living hand to mouth in the United States of America. But when they go to Guyana because of the complaint, oh, people say, oh my gosh, look at white man, a white, you know, it happens. Anyways, Conrad is asking what Ali is mixed with. Conrad is being very mischievous. And before we get straight into our program and other serious matters, Conrad is asking, and he's forcing me to give him an answer. I'm not sure if you Guyanese, you guys know me that well. You should by now, that I'm not going to allow Conrad to ask such a question without giving him an answer. He is asking what Muhammad Irfan Ali is mixed with. We all know what he's mixed with. We all know what he's mixed with. Lisa Prasad is asking, here Lisa. Lisa say, why don't you pronounce Guyana like you, or why do you pronounce Guyana like you swallow a marble? I'm going to ask you what you swallow when you pronounce Guyana. I want to ask you that question. You already should know. But no, I don't swallow marbles, and those things are not for me to swallow. Those things are need for Jack there to swallow, not me. But understand a little humor now, Lisa. You're so uptight, man. What's going on? Are things rough? Why do you pronounce Guyana? Understand why now, Lisa. Understand why now. But I'm glad that you're on the show this evening, Lisa. We appreciate that you watch it. And Lisa, this is for you because I want you to continue watching. And I hope it's not Kwame, I'm blowing this to, this is for you, Lisa. Welcome to the show. We appreciate that you take time out of your, whatever you do for a living. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. If I swallow marble. Me and asking Lisa what she swallowed. It's not my business. Okay, Lisa wants me to speak like a Guyanese. How Guyanese is talk, y'all? How it is to talk? So you want me to talk? Or if I speak like that too now, that's going to be a problem too, right? Okay, Lisa, girl, we love you so much. Continue watching the show and you will learn a lot. Aliyah is saying that she's traumatized. She's traumatized from last night. If you're traumatized from last night, calm down yourself. Drink little something, little high wine, and relax a little bit, man. Last night done and gone. We got to learn. It's Guyana, right? Guyana. Oh, sorry, Lisa. That may have tickled you, right? Oops. Guyana. All right. So, what were we talking about, man? We got a bit distracted there. Leroy Nelson. Good evening to you, sir. Leroy Nelson is asking, what Guyanese song like? That's a good question. What Guyanese song like? I don't know what Guyanese song like at all. But getting back to Getting back to Conrad August's question. Conrad is asking, and let's get straight back to Conrad's question. What Ali mixed with? Here is the answer. And here I'm just being dead honest, so to speak. Everybody's mixed with something. Ali is also mixed. Ali is not pure. But I know what Ali's mixed with. Here goes. Ali has got to be a mixture of this. Now we all know what Ali's mixed with, right? Let's get back now in terms of what we really want. I noticed it says protest, protest, protest. Nothing is wrong with protest at all. Don't let anyone fool you guys that protest is bad. Don't let anyone fool you guys that one set of people can protest and the other set of people cannot protest. And anytime the other set of people have to protest, they got to be all sort of criticisms and justifications as to why the other set can't protest. They like to paint this picture that protesting is so bad. Protesting is not bad. It is good. It's a good thing. Again, I say, do not let anyone fool you guys that protesting is bad. Protesting is not bad. We need more protest in Guyana. We need more protest in the US. We need more protest in the UK and Canada. In front of the Guyana consulate, in front of the Guyana missions, in front of the Guyana embassy, we need more protest. Even if it's 5 persons, even if it's 6 persons. You know, I know folks who are ready for protest. We got Brenda Casey here saying what Brenda is saying. Mark, I'm eating ice cream and I choked when everybody's choking tonight. Tonight is choke night. Lisa Prasad, you see what you caused? Everybody choking on something. Ice cream. Good night, Brenda. How are you? Good night to all of you guys out there, right? Protest is not, again, I repeat, protest is not a bad thing. The people in Linden, I see now that they are protesting. More of them need to go out and protest. Protest helps to bring awareness as to what is happening in a country. Only pussycats who sit as leaders will drive fear into the hearts and minds of the people that protesting is bad. Pussycats do that. Timid leaders do that. Visionless leaders do that. They sway people away from going after the big prize, which is protest. Protests help to bring governments down. And any leader who tries to sway their supporters away from protesting with silly excuses are not worthy of my vote. I'm telling you guys, point blank, are not worthy of my vote. And I'm sure that others are watching and may not even bother to vote for people who are weak, leaders who are weak, leaders who do not have the balls to stand up and confront an oppressive regime. And every time they have that opportunity to do that, they come up with some sort of frivolous excuses about why they should not protest. I don't know. I just don't know. As Keith Beresford, where is Keith? Oh, that's not Keith. Where is Keith? Keith Beresford. Good night, sir. Keith Beresford said, pussycats, scared young girls. Not just, they got some young people are brave. But these people are scared pussycats. In fact, I will call them the first word and leave out cats. They are a bunch of. All right. So let's get back to the protest, right? Protest is a healthy thing, healthy for a democracy. If everyone stays quiet and goes back into their corners, their bottom house in their hammocks or whatever, and don't protest, but they want just a handful of people to go out there and build a cat for them. It happened before. It's happening again, all because of weak leadership. We must be able to say this. We might as well throw everything on the table now and broke up everything, because people's power is bigger than any leader. And no one person can dictate and dominate the situation and hold a bunch of people to ransom. It is not going to happen. We say enough is enough to this illegitimate regime, this corrupt, racist regime, and enough is enough with those who are holding their supporters at ransom in the opposition as well. Whether it's the AFC, whether it's the APNU, whether it's the PNC. Well, I don't know if there's any APNU any longer. I don't know. All I know is that the AFC walked away, the WPA walked away, and it is basically just the PNC. The other two, Jaipal Sharma has a paper party. We hardly hear from Jaipal unless Jaipal issues a statement via his Facebook page. Sarabo Haley has a paper party. We hardly hear from these people. So there's no, we got to stop this thing now with APNU AFC coalition. There's no APNU AFC coalition at all. It's just the PNC. That's it. Just the PNC. I noticed the leader of the opposition. Yes, they do have a leader of the opposition. We do have a leader of the opposition. His name is Aubrey Compton Norton. I've noticed that Aubrey Compton Norton now signs something. He's no longer leader of APNU. Ramjatan, they walked away. They take the bundle and they walked away from the coalition because there's no sweetness any longer. They pretend that they can do it all alone. It can't happen. And then when things get rough for them, they're going to rush back under the coalition because they're seeking power. At elections time, they want to fool the supporters into thinking that, look, that's not what I was going to even talk about this evening. But these guys, let me address Aliyah. We can't ignore the PNC. The PNC is the biggest opposition party right now, the biggest party in the opposition right now. It is close to the PPP in terms of the two largest political parties in Guyana and the oldest political party in Guyana. So we just can't ridicule the PNC to nothing. Don't underestimate the supporters of the PNC. They will come out. You will see 10, 15, 20,000 of them on the streets. It has happened before. 30,000 of them on the streets. Once they have a leader or leaders that could energize them. Don't underestimate the supporters of the PNC base. Don't do that. Aliyah Walrun, don't do that. Good night to you, Aliyah. Good night. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Don't underestimate them. Who is this here now, man? Where is this? This buddy telling me about who X they love. I was about to give up on my marriage, but the greatest doctor on one love spell saved it for. What is this here now, man? What this got to do with who love X in order contact this great woman called Doctor on one for she's what What kind of thing is this here now? Father God. Oh. Now see what's got to go on. What the heck? But X and who in love and who is this person, man? Lemon, who is this person? Oh, God, Father. Gosh. Just a dry. And I click on the thing, somebody says Obia. Get rid of this Obia thing, man. Look. Let me address this Obia thing quickly, since we're talking politics and Obia. You see, when persons of African descent do their worship, people jump up and say Obia. They jump up and say Obia. And the same thing they say is Obia. Let's just give an example. Our Hindu brothers and sisters worship. Burn candle, do agabati, do jandi. And I've been part of many jandis, man. Lots of jandis. I don't mind jandis. I know the Hindu prayers, Tumewa Mata, Chapita, Tumewa. And then I've gone to a lot of dead house and things, you say, Mati de Mamata, Kitinapia, right? And so, nothing is wrong with that. Our Hindu brothers and sisters are allowed to practice their religion. But when the African person do almost similar to what our Hindu brothers and sisters do, African man, African woman say, hey, that Obia man, that Obia lady, that Obia man, or that Obia lady. And then now when I remember small days, you see somebody get on the African outfit, walking down the streets. You start hollering, look, Obia man, disrespect towards the African attire, the African way of worshiping things. It's called Obia, it's called all manner of things. This is how we disrespect our own African culture. But you let a Hindu walk down the street, a Pandit walk down the street. Hey, Pandit, namaste, Pandit. Pandit stop and say namaskar. Hey, bye, how are you? And so, enough of that. Enough of that. You burn a candle is Obia. Talking about burn a candle, I can't burn a candle around this house, People think I walk, but we got to get away from that because our history and our culture and our religion. And so you're more comfortable seeing somebody walking around and knocking doors as a Jehovah's Witness or something. I used to be a Jehovah's Witness, mind you. I used to walk from Tallergy, Brighton, with my aunt Lorna. God bless her. She's now passed away. And, I used to be there preaching the word as a little boy. But they thought I used to preach the word. I used to enjoy the fact that every home we used to go at, right, we used to get food, fruits, and all kind of thing. And them days, they were good days. They used to call me Double Belly. But anyways, back to, and thanks, Brent. It's not Obia, but this is how we label ourselves. It's Obia. It's all these kind of things, But I'm sorry I clicked on that thing. I clicked on the thing and now my neck itching me. Right? What do you guys think? I'll try to read some of your comments. What do you guys think? Nazim Ali, salam alaikum, my brother. And happy Ramadan to you and all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Nazim Ali is saying, donkey need to laugh now. Well, we like to respect the wishes of our viewers, and we will not have the donkey laugh now. We will have the donkey speak now. And listen to what the donkey has to say, Nazim. And again, assalamu alaikum to you, my brother.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. they're going to face a different situation right across the country.
Instance, when they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo or in Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities because it means they've been squatting in power.
All right, so there are times the donkey would laugh and there are times the donkey would speak. And so Nizam or Nazim asked for the donkey to laugh. We gave him more than just that. We allowed the donkey to speak. And now let me ask you guys, what's your take on protest action in Guyana? What's your take on protest action in Guyana? Let me get your take on that. I'll read some of your comments while you see how the PPP protested. And they weren't easy at all. Did a lot of dirty things, right? Let me get your comments, please. All right, so they didn't. When these people go around in the PPP, when they go around to protest, they never ask police permission and these sort of things. They never did. They went around and they did as they pleased, and the police stood by there and did nothing. But yet those in the opposition now got to beg the police for permission. When the police say no, that's the end of the matter. That's the end of the matter. I just don't know. I take umbrage to that. It shows, in my opinion, weak leadership. And those who we expect to be strong turn out to be very, very weak. But it is what it is, right? Lemon, what's bothering you? You should be at work doing your stuff. What's happening?
Yes, Mark. I'm just fed up of the opposition. Not want to go and protest, and I was.
Okay, one second. Before you get to the opposition, let's hear what's your thought on the racist, corrupt PPP regime. Talk about them first.
Mark, well, my point is I don't want to talk about them because anytime I hear about the corrupt regime, it upset me, and I'm just talking about what the opposition right now.
Forget about the opposition now, Lemon. Remember, your job is on the line here on 107.1 FM. Talk about the illegitimate, the corrupt PPP regime first.
Well, everybody know they're very corrupt, and it seems to be like they own Guyana. They do what they want to do. They run around, doing what they want to do. So people have to stand up to them. Stand up to them. Stand up, protest.
Are you willing to protest wherever you are, whether in Guyana, the US, or Canada? Are you willing to protest?
Yes, right now I'm in Guyana, and I'm willing to go out there and protest.
Well, I know you were protesting. You protested a couple of times last year in the US. I know that for sure.
Yes.
Why do you suppose people are reluctant? Let me take back that big word because let me take back that big word, reluctant. Because I know after the show you're gonna call me and tell me don't call them big word. But why do you think people are afraid to protest, Lemon?
Well, I think they're afraid of Jagdio and Ali and no, they get locked up. But get locked up. Go out there and protest. Get locked up. You know, let them lock you up. It's for a good.
Are you prepared to get locked up?
Yes, I'm prepared to get locked up.
Okay. So we know quite a few folks on this live have protested. Protest is very effective. It's very effective. Very effective. Yeah, go ahead. Continue, Lemon.
Yes, I was listening to your program last night, and I was in the studio, and I didn't want to comment too much about it in the studio, but some of these MPs and opposition, I cannot understand what they're really talking about, because why you don't want to go out and protest? Why? Why everything is in Parliament? You got to go on the street, hit the street. So it's just,
Why do you think, Lemon? Because I know you got to get back to work. You haven't worked for a couple of weeks, and you just barge into the studio whenever you want. It doesn't happen like that. But why do you suppose that the PPP have such dislike for persons of African descent? Why?
Because they're racist. And once you're racist, you won't like African people. Jagdio, Ali, Nandalal, all of them are racist, and I will call them out.
And the targeting of mainly persons of African descent, their lands, and breaking down their homes, how does that make you feel, Lemon?
Well, I think that I think the people should stand up with that, because go to the court, fight them. Don't give up like that and let them come break your land down. Fight them.
The court sometimes is corrupt. They got some members of the judiciary are corrupt. Now all of them, mind you, some of them are corrupt.
Yeah, but some people just stand up and just let them walk over them. Go to the court. Go to court.
Some people might prefer to go to courts on Main Street than go to the other set of courts. Anything else that's bothering you, Lemon, before you get back to work, sir?
Well, I'm going to let you continue the program, and I'm going back to work and make sure everything is okay, so the program could run smooth.
Thank you, Lemon.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Lemon, there for you guys. Getting back to work. People are calling for protest. Brenda wants protest. Almost everyone wants protest. Now, there will be a protest next week. Right here. There will be a protest next week. I believe Wednesday or Friday. Next week, Friday, I believe, at 10 o'clock. In front of the Guyana Consulate, 308 West 38th Street, New York. Even if it's 10 of you guys with a placard, walk with your own placard. Write something on that placard. Be prepared to talk about what is happening in Guyana. Be prepared, my friends. Be prepared. I hope Lemon is back from Guyana and will be there. You guys forget about seeing Lemon. Y'all will see Lemon at the protest, right? Be prepared. Next Friday, 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock in the morning in front of the Guyana Consulate, 308 West 38th Street in Manhattan. There will be a protest to highlight and to expose what is happening in Guyana. Thank you, Colin Barnwell. To expose what is happening in Guyana, we have to start the protest. If those in Guyana don't want to protest, then let us do some things here that should have been done a while now. Protest protest, whether it's in front of the Guyana consulate in Manhattan, in front of the Guyana embassy in Washington, D.C., in front of the United Nations, in front of the UN High Commission's office in Canada, in front of the the High Commission's office in London. Let us protest and protest and protest. Now, let me answer this Aliyah. I'll pronounce this Aliyah Muhammad. I don't know if it's them Muhammad from Lombard Street or wherever, right? Speaking of them Muhammad from Lombard Street, I noticed the father say he running for office. Oh, gosh. Oh, sorry about that, guys. But look at this, Mohammed is saying the PNC leaders and their cabals don't know what is peaceful protest. They know about looting, burning down buildings, and blocking roads. Kya. You see the stupidity of this, whoever this crapo is? You see the stupidity? You see the stupidity, right? This person has got to be this. Like this person doesn't remember. Look, let's quickly, Lemon, remind this person of this.
Good, now we can see the real standoff. It's just part of the action, part of the real action.
Sometimes you've got to remind these trench crappos about real things and real history and so forth, right? Who did the most burning down? You think a lot of those buildings were burned down as a result of arson? You think so? Stop it. Yeah, some people burned down their own buildings, their own business, and all these kind of things for insurance. Stop it, Aliyah. Aliyah, stop it. You want to talk about protest? Do you recall in 2001 when folks from Belvedere, Hampshire, Nig, and Albion and so forth, they gathered in front of the Albion police station? They almost burned down the police station. They burned tires on the road. All manner of things happened to people as well too, right? All manner of things happened to people as well. But no. And they beat up magistrate. They throw a car in the trench, the magistrate's car in the trench. They almost beat up Ronald Gadraj, that controversial, quote-unquote, criminal who sat there as a minister of Home Affairs. All of his visas got revoked, every single thing. And you sit here, wherever you're sitting, in some basement or wherever, eating dry coconut and sugar, and you have the audacity to say the PNC leaders and their cabal, you see, this how y'all like to paint people. But when PBB supporters protest, a legitimate protest, they're all nice and peaceful. You think it's always peaceful? No. People get beat up, people get robbed, people get all manner of things happen when PBB people protest. Though. So shut up. Get a life. For once, get a life. Get out of here. For all you know, it's probably Kwame, right? With a coconut tree, with some banab, or there's a kissing bridge or whatever. Get out of here. We don't have time. We don't have time with this back and forth. Who drink Marvex? Who drink this? And you could tell it's somebody who probably would take a drive around later the cathedral and they're gone. They're done with. They're done with. And yet these people got no shame. They come and they make these silly comments. It is just basically, I wouldn't say it's race, it's ignorant. Because for all you know, Aliyah Muhammad is black, like a tar baby. Right? And so they come and they make these silly comments. all because it's persons of African descent. Everything a person of African descent do is wrong. They're criminal, they this, they that, they hungry belly, they not like walk, they not like do this, they not like do that, they like sit down all day, and them make enough picnic, and they dep on welfare. I know enough East Indian folks who are upon welfare. I know enough of them don't like work. I know some of them just thief, all kind of things. Some of them do backtrack. Look at the biggest drug lords in Guyana. Look at the biggest gold smugglers in Guyana. Look at the biggest money launderers in Guyana. Oh. But poor persons of African descent don't like work. A hungry belly, according to the likes of a hungry belly critic. All these things. And they expect persons of African descent must sit down and accept those things. Who were the teachers back in the days? Who were the protectors of our Indian ancestors who came as indentured servants? It was the Africans, the freed Africans, assisted in every areas. Who assisted to help read and write and all the, who are the teachers? Who are the nurses and doctors? Who helped them picnic a barn? All these manner of things. But where is this disrespect coming from, man? Where is this disrespect coming from? Where? When them boys speak coconut and go Portuguese quarters, Coatmaran side there. Look who are some of the... Where is this disrespect coming from, man? The biggest welfare recipients in the United States of America are not persons of African descent. They're not. The majority, we know who they are. But they have Indians on welfare in Guyana, in the US, and they get Africans, persons of African descent, on welfare. They get lazy Indians and they get lazy Africans. It is a fact. But not all are lazy. Not all are on welfare. Not every Indian live in a basement. Not every African person like dry coconut and sugar. We got to do more in that country. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere. We got to do more. It's not getting any good, especially under the PPP regime, the installed PPP regime, the most racist and corrupt regime right now is the PPP regime. Now let's get back to the protest. We need protest action, peaceful protest action. We need that. Even if bridges got to shut down, we need peaceful protest. It is the way forward. You can't wait till Parliament. They get, how often they go to Parliament? Every 6 months they in Parliament. They dress up, they put on one shirt and tie, they sit down in Parliament, all of them on both sides, and they talk and try to look good, and they do up their hair and put on tie and suit and all things. And they believe that that is the way forward. They believe that that is how the PPP is going to listen to them and take them seriously. That's not how the PPP is going to listen to them and take them seriously. You get a couple of protests, you're going to see how quick the PPP go. Wow. Now look what's going to, look according, I'm not sure how accurate this is because I don't. Look at Jamar Aziz. Happy Ramadan, my brother. This is an Indian family, Guyanese, of course, of East Indian ancestry. They're PNC people. PNC people, or they support the coalition. They support the coalition. And guess what PPP supporters did to this man and his family? They burned down his butcher shop. Call them all manners of, all sorts of names they call them. Burned down the man's butcher shop. burn it dunk. I'm saying dunk. They burn it dunk because this guy, Jamal, and his family support the coalition. And so they targeted this family. And this man's business, family's business. And you know who Jamar Aziz reminds me of and his family? They remind me of a guy named Civic, that the PPP targeted that guy and his family, broke down their home, destroyed the man and his family. Civic, a real brother in the struggle. And Jamal Aziz reminds me of Civic. Jamal, who feels it, knows it, is saying right here, right now, let the protest go. Let the protest begin. And so in the coalition, in the PNC, forget it, then again, no coalition. Hi, good evening. Jamal, how are you? Okay. You're actually live. How are you doing, sir? Let me ask you something, my brother. Happy Ramadan to you.
Okay, thank you.
Let me ask you, and since you have been targeted by the PPP supporters, your business burned down and so forth, how have you been doing, sir?
Well, I'm trying all the time.
Yeah. Where is Guyana now under the PPP? Let's get your reaction.
Guyana under the PPP, Guyana gone. The dogs.
How does it make you feel every day you're seeing and hearing about not just racial discrimination against your African brothers and sisters, but discrimination against persons who support the coalition? How does that make you feel?
True. There's racial discrimination against everybody who supports the coalition.
I hear you.
Everyone that supports the coalition.
You know, Jamal, I know you listen to the program quite often, and you and I met for the first time, I believe, in 2020 at the final night rally at Square of the Revolution. You're a good guy. And it breaks my heart to see how you and your family are being targeted by vicious members of the PPP regime. How does it make you feel when you see your African brothers and sisters are being targeted because of their race? How does that make you feel, my friend?
I feel bad for them. I just need to come out. I call them from everybody to come out and support this across the country, protest across the country, support the African people.
I got you, my brother. Jamal, again, give my regards to your family. Another day, I'll invite you in a more appropriate setting so that you can come and talk about what you and your family suffered at the hands of the PPP and goons of the PPP who went by your home and threatened you guys as well, other than burning your butcher shop down.
Yes, Victor Singh went by my home and threatened my wife.
Yes, it has got to stop. Thank you for being strong. Thank you for not giving up, Jamal, you and your family. We salute you guys, man. Thank you, Jamal.
Okay, my brother. Thank you.
You know, that's an Indian brother, a Guyanese of Indian descent, is a victim of the PPPC regime. The installed PPPC regime is a victim. And so these people in the PPP, they're ruthless. It has got to stop. You see Jamal Aziz, what he's saying here? Protest action is needed right across the country. And folks like Jamal are not afraid of protest. Nothing is wrong with protesting. I'm sure Jamal, his wife, and his entire family, they're not afraid. They have been persecuted. They have been brutalized. They have been victimized by this corrupt PPPC regime. And we salute this brother. Just like last evening, we salute Rhonda Lane. This evening, we salute Jamar Aziz and his beautiful family. Just give the brother some love. Give him some love. There are lots of our Indian brothers and sisters who support another party other than the PPP, and they suffer. We've got to stand up and defend our brothers and sisters like Jamal, like his family, like Rhonda Lane. We've got to support these folks 100%. 100%. I agree with Ravendra. Ravendra say Jamal the patriot. We've got to address this race situation differently. There are lots of Indian brothers and sisters who are not in support of the PPP, who are not necessarily anti-PPP, but they're anti-corruption and the racism that is happening in that country. The love is real. The unity is not as divided as how we may want to see it. It's still there. We still have a lot of Indian brothers and sisters that are against what's happening in the PPP. And we've got to be able to embrace these brothers and sisters at every level. I know of a lot of our East Indian brothers and sisters under quarantine who don't like what's happening there, but they just don't want to come out. They're afraid that their business may be burned down by PPP goons, PPP terrorists, PPP hooligans. So we got to be careful. We got to be mindful. We've got to be mindful. We've just got to be careful. PNC leadership, be mindful. Don't chase whom you have around. Try to find ways to embrace and to expand and bring more of a mixture of everybody under that coalition tent. Burnham was able to do that. The makeup of the PNC back then, look at all those brilliant Indian brothers and sisters who were helped to write the Constitution, Shahabuddin and Sridhar Ramphal and all these other guys. It was a mixture of everyone. We've got to get back to that, my brothers and sisters. We've got to get back to that. One single race cannot win an elections. If you put all of our Indian brothers and sisters, assuming that, because they like to say that the PPP is Indian and the PNC is African, it might be a predominant of Indian or African in either of the two, yeah. But it takes crossover votes for any two major political party to win an election. It's got to be crossover votes. Otherwise, nobody's going to win an elections. The PPP cannot win an elections without thieving votes. And that to them is crossover votes. But the coalition cannot win an election without crossover votes. The PNC cannot win an election without crossover votes. They need crossover votes. That is where our brothers, Jamal, and all these folks who are diehard members of either the PNC or some other small party that are not PPP affiliated. Hats off to them. It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes after. Thank you, Christopher. Christopher is saying LFSB, Lyndon Forbes, Samson Burnham had many Indians in his administration in high, powerful position. That is so true. General secretaries. I know of how many persons of East Indian descent that were General Secretary of the PNC? You had Kami Ramsrup. There might have been another East Indian person prior to that, but I know of Kami Ramsrup. Then you got Gita, and then you get Gita lasts a couple of months. Gita is my friend, but I don't know. Sorry. And so then you had Speaker of the National Assembly and all these other guys. Then you had the chairman of the PNCR, Winston Murray. Kami Ramsrup was also chairman of the PNCR. And you've had all these brilliant Indians who played a big role in the PNC, a big role in PNC government as well. Look around the PPP. Do you think they will ever put a person of African descent as their general secretary? They never had that in the history, almost 60 years or somewhere thereabouts of the PPP. Never had an African person. Never. Never had. Never. You think they like luncheon? The minute luncheon was supposed to be a presidential candidate, they suddenly remember that luncheon is a black man, right? They don't have, the PPP does not have respect for persons of African descent. They do not. Unlike the PNC. Well, they got to get the act together in the PNC right now and understand that all are there together. All are together. It shouldn't be this pulling and tugging. All are needed. So unlike the PNC, the PPP is a racist party, a racist-oriented party. Halim Majid, thank you, Dennis. And Halim went off to become the Guyana ambassador to Cuba. Halim Majid, all these other guys. The PNC has proven to be a more broad-based, ethnic, broad-based party than the PPP can ever imagine. Here's what the PPP does. They bring in a couple of tokens. Mark Phillips is a token. Mark Phillips is just there for take up space. Take up space. He doesn't have any power. He's just like Sam Hines. No power. None whatsoever. He's just there and he's comfortable being there because he's prime minister. He gets to travel, and every time they travel, he gets some per diem. He gets like 10 or 15,000 US dollars to travel. He can go at the mall in Queens, Greenacre, and they buy a little suit, and he's happy. He doesn't say a word about anything until they write a script and put him out there to read it. And then he's a token. Look at all the things that they say about persons of African descent. Not once did Mark Phillips and these guys say they're uncomfortable with calling Africans hungry belly dogs. Not once did 5 of them in the PPP, these tokens, came out and say they're against persons addressing folks of African descent as hungry belly dogs, Lungera, all manner of things. They stay quiet and they take it. They take it because they can't. They're afraid of losing their supper if they speak out against that. They're tokens. That's who they are. The PPP has no respect for them. Catch them quick and use them. And they don't mind being used, you know. They don't mind being used because Mark Phillips, comfortable being prime minister, installed prime minister, so he doesn't care anything. He doesn't care. He's comfortable. So he's being used and he's ashamed. He's not even ashamed of that. He's being used. He can't open his mouth for nothing. He's worse than a rubber stamper. He's worse than a doormat. That's how the PPP treats him. Utad, as Minister of Foreign Affairs, he has no power. Remember what he said about not the one China policy, that he recognized the government, the installed government of Guyana recognized, where is it, Hong Kong? And then he had to pull back. And then Jagdeo came and Jagdeo said, no. Todd doesn't speak on behalf of the regime. That is what Jagdeo said. And Todd put his tail on his leg and he pulled back. They have no respect for these guys. None whatsoever. None. And that is why they're all quiet as a mouse, regardless of what insults being thrown at persons of African descent. They are never going to defend. Look at Edgil. Thank you, CC. CC Forbes. Such beautiful names we have. CC. Hi, CC. And so, remember when they were at a meeting and Jagdeo dig a holler on Edgil? Shut up. Right? Be quiet. In other words, Lil Boy, Taiwan. Thank you, El Chapo. Taiwan. Right? The recognition of Taiwan. And so, thanks, El Chapo. We had some fancy name by El Chapo. Thank you, guys. And so, these guys have the PPP got no respect for them. Remember when Robeson Ben was in Monrepo trying to talk to the people and he started things? What they did to Robeson Ben? They stoned him. They pelted him with gander egg. They pelted him with rotten egg ball, sour egg ball, the stale plant in, was it, Polori? They chased him. Look at the video. I'm not talking propaganda here. It is a fact. Jagdeo Halapon Edgil. Sit down. Shut up. They pelted this guy Edgil. Chased him out of Monrepo. These chaps ain't gonna learn, but they're comfortable with the position and they're comfortable with the corruption. They're comfortable with that. And then he hooks them, send them out like little puppies to come out and bark like these Chihuahua. And you know how Chihuahuas are treated under quarantine? You get a brick. I'm not saying that we should pelt anybody, mind you. I'm just saying how dogs are treated. And that's not, I'm not saying as a little boy, we didn't know better. So we may pick up a brick and we pelt a dog or whatever. But as a grown man, I no longer do that. I ask all the dogs to please forgive me. All the dogs to please forgive me. Real dogs, mind you. And so the PPP, they put folks, these Chihuahuas out in the PPP to come out and bark. They have no power, they have no say, and they have no respect amongst the African community. None whatsoever. Absolutely none. Ram Singh. Good evening. Oh, it's Navratri, right? Happy Navratri. Here is it. Indians in the PNC. Jainarain Singh, Rajkumari Singh, David Singh, Dirup Maharaj, Neville December, Charles Ramson. They don't know that Charles Ramson's senior father was a PNC. Harold Prasad, Harold Lightweight Kisoon. Well, Harold Lightweight Kisoon is Freddie Kisoon, brother. I used to be around the market. He is the real Kisoon. He is the real deal, not Freddie. That's why Freddie didn't like his brother Neville. Neville and I were, Harold Lightweight Kisoon and I were very good friends. I know Neville December. I saw him around the court a couple of times. We spoke and so forth and so on. And so it's just saying Sati Jaisari Singh, Rowena Bacchus, Philomena Rahman, Fazil Rahman, Razak Mandal, you name it. All of these folks. You can't go through the PPP and get these names. You can get names such as Odinga Lumumba. No, I'm not laughing at the name Odinga Lumumba, but he changed his name from, what was his name? That's when he used to study in Colorado, and then he just never came back to the U.S. for God and never knows why. And then you get the likes of Assam Hines. I've got to go, guys. I've got to go. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107. But before I go, I want to talk about. No, not this guy. This guy is a D-Roop. group, a different group from Kilmarnock side on the quarantine. He's the head of NARI. People are complaining about these guys on the quarantine, you know. Allegations of corruption upon corruption upon people are complaining about these guys. We'll touch on this some other night, but not tonight. We'll definitely touch on it though. We've got to touch on it, right? Good. So now let's go to this here now. I want to talk about something else before I go. The PPP is having an outreach from what I've learned via social media. Look, they have an outreach this Saturday, 10 a.m. sharp, Victoria Community Center. Look who is going to, oh gosh, Liklip Kwame is going to Victoria to talk to people. But look who else is going. Mark Phillips going, Anil going, Frank Anthony going, Onage Wolren going, Mustafa Zulfikar is going. I don't think these people are so silly, man. Nah, man, something is wrong with this here. I don't believe this thing here. This thing here can't be true. This can't be true, right? But if it is true, if it is, something is wrong with this flyer. I don't know whether this is true or this can't be true, man. They can't be going to Victoria. They punish these people in Victoria. Punish Victoria, punish all over the place, punishing these people, right? And then Saturday they want to go in Victoria. Is what Jagdev said again? Not me saying it. And even that's the case, I'm not afraid to say it because these people don't deserve to stand in your community to speak with you. Chase them out. Do them like what Jagdev said should be done to coalition ministers. Legitimate coalition ministers, not these fake officials. This is what Jagdev said.
Right across Guyana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo and Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your communities because it means they've been squatting in power.
Now, these people have been squatting in power. These people are illegal, regardless of what they say. Nothing is wrong with when they come to your community to tell them in a very nice way, in a very chasing way, get out. We don't want you guys. What you guys have been doing is certainly against people like us within our community. You know the rich history of Victoria? But yet these guys, these goons are going into Victoria to do what? To say what? Walk behind them. Beat drums. Hit your drums, hit your saucepan, hit your pots and so forth, and wrung them out whenever they speak. Don't let them get that opportunity to spread their propaganda. Chase them out. Now, don't do them anything else like what Jagdev was urging his supporters to do with coalition officials. No, just beat your drums and sing. Just sing. Beat your drums and sing. Beat it as loud as possible. Then they will get the message. Don't be afraid of the police who tell you move back. Don't let the police go into your communities, into your villages, and tell you to get out, that you can't stand in your own damn village and these sort of things to accommodate these goons. No, do not do it. Be brave, guys. There's nothing illegal. There's nothing illegal because no one is telling you to harm anyone. No one is telling you to harm anyone. Beat your drum, sing your song, and let them know that they are not welcome in your community, in your villages. They are not welcome. That's my message for tonight. My name is Mark Benshop. I've got to go. Thank you all so much. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. God bless you all. Love you guys. Tata.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Source. Maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you, or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sujiro?
So my relationship? Not.
Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place. Guyana really nice. Guyana, it's a nice place.
Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have